So this may be the first time I ever wore a John Deere hat in one of our videos. I'm not sure, but there's a pretty good chance it is, and there's good reason for it. The other day, I was over in Ohio, and let me back up a little bit. I was on YouTube, and you know how that goes. You're looking stuff up, and I discovered the new John Deere P-Series skid loader. And these things are a whole nother level. They are. Like my 97 Kubota, very, very capable machine. But some of these new ones out, like this P-Series, it's incredible. So I get to looking at them a little bit, and I sent an email to a guy I know that works for Murphy Tractor. Now, Eric, he really good guy, watches our channel, and he's the one, if you remember years ago, brought out, I think it was a 333G with a diamond disc mulcher on it. And we cut a whole bunch of trails with that machine. And we have stayed in touch on and off. And anyway, I reached out to Eric, asked him a couple questions, and he said that they were having a customer event over in Ohio if I wanted to come check them out and I could run them around a little bit. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it. So I drove over to Ohio. It was about a 3.5-hour drive, and it was worth it. It was. These machines are at a whole nother level. They really are. Just packed with technology, and the power that they put in these CTLs now, compact track loaders, is just unbelievable. But you know what was as equally as impressive as the machines was everybody that I talked to there. There were a few guys there from John Deere, and there was a bunch of guys from Murphy Tractor, and all very knowledgeable and very passionate about what they do. And it was nice to see. It was. And these are all, they're construction guys. They're farm guys. You know what I mean? And they work for Murphy Tractor, and they're into what they sell. You know, when I worked in oil and gas, it was kind of funny. Nothing wrong with it. But we had guys with like history majors in college. They were like landmen, and it was just a job. You know what I mean? They got a good job in oil and gas, had nothing to do with what their background was. But these guys that I talked to were really into what they sell and very knowledgeable on the products. So anyway, that's why I'm wearing the John Deere hat. And I've got a bunch of video from that event, and you can learn a lot about these new P-Series compact track loaders and other equipment as well. Also met a guy there from Virnig, which I've got the rotating log grapple, my big grapple on my skid loaders of Virnig. I've got the brush cutter for the mini skid. What else do I have? The regular grapple and the power rake. Virnig Attachments are made in Minnesota, and I like to promote, as you know, small businesses. Vernig's a pretty big company, but it's the small business. Everything they have is made in the U.S., and Murphy Tractor is a big dealer for them. Messick, they have a lot of dealers all over the place, but those are the two that I'm familiar with. But I met Adam there from Virnig, same thing, really into the products that they make, very knowledgeable. But anyway, that's enough of the introduction. I will show you what I got the other day. So this is Eric with Murphy Tractor, and you've actually been in one of our videos before, years ago.
That's right. That's back with the diamond forestry head.
Yeah, and what model CTL was that?
That was a 333G at the time.
That was a big hit on the channel. That was a brush and tree mowing machine right there.
It will absolutely put them down. That's exactly right.
So where are we today, Eric? What is this facility?
So today you're at the Molly Caron agricultural facility, which is owned by the Ohio State University, and basically this facility is about all things agriculture. They've got approximately 12 to 1,500 acres of tillable ground that they'll actually till. And this time of year, it's most known for Farm Science Review, which is next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So every year, everyone brings in their goods to show what the latest and greatest thing is. They'll run equipment out in the fields. They'll actually harvest corn, soybeans. They'll do tillage. They'll do all those kinds of things. So, and then during the show, you have everything from construction equipment to ag equipment, wood boilers. I mean, they've got a little bit of everything out here.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, overall facility is about 2,100 acres.
Now you've had a farm background.
Yep.
Construction equipment, that kind of thing. And how long you been with Murphy Tractor?
Been with Murphy about 14 years.
14 years.
Yes.
So what we're going to do today, we're going to look at some new, because they just have a new model.
So we call them P tier is what it is, versus the old was a G series, and now what we've done is we've gone to a tiering system. So P is kind of that everyday run system, depending on the kind of equipment. So basically, from compact to heavy equipment, we have a G, a P, and an X tier, and that tells you where that is. You know, a G is more of a value side, lower spec. P is going to be what most people have become used to run from John Deere. X is going to be, it could be hybrid technology, it could be anything like that, basically, is what that stands for.
Well, I look forward to it. Let's take a walk around.
Absolutely, let's do it.
So Eric, this is the biggest and baddest 335P.
That's right. That's right. John Deere's newest addition to our compact track loader line. The beauty of this machine is it was built specifically for guys that run a lot of hydraulic intense attachments all the time. So your mulchers, your circular forestry mowers, cold planers, those kinds of things. These machines come up. They have they're built with the cooling package. They come with your options of 3/4 inch lines already incorporated. It's 118 horse.
Oh my goodness.
44 gallons a minute at 4,000 PSI. So this thing's going to run it. It's going to allow those attachments to perform even better than they have in the past. And typically performance isn't an issue, but where you'll really find it is in recovery time. When you're going into that tree and it really slows it down, these are going to recover so much quicker, get you right back into the game a lot faster.
So this would be primarily machined for someone that had a high demand for high flow, high pressure all the time.
All the time.
Because
that's
like
exactly
the next size down will do pretty much the same thing.
That's right.
Close.
It'll do it close. You know, there's guys that they're going to buy this because they say I want a 335, and it comes standard with a lot of stuff, heavy duty grills. There's a lot of features, the attachment manager and all those that come standard on this that might be options on other machines, but you can option another machine to be the same. It's going to have 10 more horsepower than the 333 does. But the main focus here is the hydraulic aspect of that machine. So
now this has on the boom right there, that's a camera?
That's right. This is one of the surround view cameras that we have that'll give you a 270-degree view while you're in the camera as far as over the top. So when you're running that, you'll actually be able to see behind you and all the way around the machine. So like in your case, when you're running in the woods or whatnot, and trees can sneak up on you, it allows you to kind of look at that monitor and see what's around. Obviously huge in the safety aspect on job sites where people can walk up behind you easily and quickly, and you don't know they're there. So
yeah, the whole CTL thing, amazing machines. Visibility's always been a struggle, but between the camera and I love the lights on the side right now.
Lights on the side. Oren, I'm going to need to grab you in a minute. Don't run away. Come over here. We got side view camera, or I'm sorry, the side lights. Absolutely. So when you're running in the dark, you know, like we talked, you've got good light in the front, good light in the back. But you know, if you look out the side of the cab, you don't see anything, especially if you're in a really dark area with no, other lights around. That lights up the entire view that you can see within that cab. More glass in this cab, all the way around, better visibility, the way they redesigned the boom. So there's no doubt this machine is going to give you the best visibility front to back of any machine on the market.
Yeah, so. It's a big machine. What's this, about 13,000 pounds?
It's almost 13. It's 12, what?
No, the way it's set up now, it's about 12,000 3.5, 12,004, or 13, sorry.
Okay.
So now you're sitting in the 335P, or 333P, excuse me. So what you're looking at right there, that's our new advanced 8-inch advanced display. And so that's the home screen. So when you look at that advanced display, you're gonna see grade control option and an attachment manager option. So simply put, if you're a customer that's gonna have any type of attachment, whether it's a John Deere attachment or another OEM's attachment, you would just touch that screen and go into that attachment management software. And what that does for you, the customer, is it allows us from John Deere to be able to put the exact pressure and the exact flow that attachment is gonna need, regardless of the coupler size on the front. So that's a unique new feature to John Deere, as is that whole 8.5 inch, or that 8-inch display. You got all your gauges right there on the front, your def, your hydraulic, and your oil, and your fuel. Everything's gonna be right there, easy access, real-time running. You scroll over to the right, you're gonna have your fan, your standard fan control, and your heat control knobs. And then you're gonna look, what you're looking at there now is our brand new sealed switch module. That's gonna be 26 buttons. And if you, for customers that are not new to that, if you look up above your head, there's a sticker on the cab.
Oh yeah.
And that sticker will tell you what all those buttons do. And you go back to that sealed switch module again, that gives you all the different features that any customer would want to do, including sensitivity controls of the joystick. We give you 3 options. Precision.
That's this here.
That's going to be your ISO controls. That's going to be your selectable control pattern. The button right below the parking brake, the red button there, that's going to be your selectable controls, or not selectable. That's going to be your sensitivity for the joystick. You're going to have a utility, or precision, utility, and projection mode, and you're going to have that same feature with the button directly below it. That's going to indicate the sensitivity of the boom and bucket response, so you can control that as well. The speed and the efficiency of how that boom and bucket responds to the right joystick. You look at the button number 4 and 5 and 7, those are features which we call return to boom height kick out, return to dig, and return to carry. So you can preset those at whatever level you want, depending on your application. And you look at the next button on to the right of that, you're gonna see the ride control button, number 6, and that's activated. Once it's in the standby mode, you can turn ride control on and off with just this flip of the right trigger on the right joystick. So in the production world, you really don't want to have ride control on when you're digging into a pile, grading, or loading trucks. So we just allow you to turn it on and off based on what you're doing on the job site. You look at the button right to the right of that, which is also new in P. That's going to be the switch to take the electric quick attach on and off, to take the bucket or the attachment on and off. So
unlock
we moved it to the sealed switch module. The intent is we wanted to take away as many toggle switches as possible, and we were able to do that in P tier. So when you look inside this new cab, you're not going to see any toggle switches. Everything is going to be on that pad, and the reason for that is from solid state electronics. We want everything to be reliable and have a long lifetime.
And this is all like sealed unit. It's
a sealed unit, and that unit has been tested underwater over millions of applications.
Really?
Yeah, so it's a very robust thing. So that's why we wanted to get all of our functionality into that monitor, or into that sealed switch module. Okay.
Does this have heated and ventilated seats?
Heated and ventilated seats, which is in the package that you're sitting in. It has that feature. So you get the deluxe high back seat with the heat and ventilation. So you get both the AC and the hot, depending on your climate. And then all the light features are there. They're all pretty self-explanatory. And then the snowflake there for your air conditioning. And that little lever you're looking at right where the 2 windows meet, that is actually to, you hold that down when you're operating the machine, and that just keeps the window from vibrating.
Okay.
So it's kind of like an anti-vibe. We want this machine to be nice and solid and quiet.
Yeah, and it's a one-piece cab, and it's pressurized cab. So when you lift this cab up, the whole cab comes up. It doesn't separate, right?
That is correct. So when you lift the cab up, you only got 2 bolts, just like we did in our G Series model. The only difference is on the P tier, the bolts are a little bit larger. They're 24 millimeters instead of 18. The reason is the cab is bigger, and we have heavier duty gas shocks, and we had to accommodate for a heavier bolt because this cab has rubber isolators on it since it's one piece. And you can see the joysticks are fully optimized. And when we say optimize, that means we've taken all the controls away from the toggles and put them on the joysticks. So it doesn't matter what function you're using for whatever attachment, you're actually going to be able to run everything from those joysticks. And one of the other neat features, if you look at the pods on the front, you're going to have those pods are adjustable. So you're going to see some black levers on each pad that you can actually lift up and slide those front and back for the comfort of the operator. There you go.
Oh.
So those slide up and back.
Wow.
And this machine has that feature on it.
Very nice.
Yes.
That's
and
good.
the owner's manual, which I get a lot of phone calls on, is now located at where your front feet are in its own little compartment. You'll see the operator's manual down there. The previous models, that would be located behind the seat. So.
All right, this is a 4,000 pound Jersey barrier here.
It's almost like that.
Like nothing. Tell you what, this camera, look at that. Can you see that? All right, so this is Ethan. What are we looking at here, Ethan?
So we're looking at a John Deere 331 P-tier track loader with a level best GB108 grader blade, running our latest TopCon MC Mobile 3D grade control on it with autos.
Wow, that's a mouthful,
It's
right?
a mouthful.
So what else is capable of doing then?
So this is capable of creating a 3D surface. Say you're doing a parking lot, say you're just going to build a building pad, and you're able to go ahead and set the elevation that you want for that project. Go in the machine, click a button for autos, and it'll automatically go to that surface, design surface elevation, and follow it and run the grader up and down and side to side for you.
What kind of tolerances does it work on?
So we're running with GPS right now, so industry standard is about a 10th. We're
Okay.
seeing a little bit closer than that, but 10th is what we tell everyone to.
That's crazy, man. So what's nice about a machine like this would take the place in certain applications of a huge grader. Really,
Absolutely.
you can do a whole parking lot with this stuff.
Yeah. So parking lots is a big one. So Dollar Generals, you know how they're small and you got islands everywhere, and it's hard to get a full-size motor grader to
Right.
fit in there. We're able to take this unit, which is already on site, because you're using it with a bucket, forks to do everything else for material handling and just shoveling material
Right.
around. You're able to put this on there and go grade your final grade surface, pass it on over to the next guy coming to pave that parking lot.
Right, very nice. So I just noticed something on this John Deere. I have a Kubota and the door opens up, which I like because if you lift the attachment off the ground, you can still get in and out of the machine. But the way this is, the cab's kind of tucked back and it looks as though you could still probably, you could lift it quite a bit off the ground, right?
You can have an attachment off the ground and still open your cab door.
I
which
see
is
that
always
now.
been that complaint in the past.
Because the older CTLs,
Yep.
that was, I mean,
Some of them
you
you
couldn't lift them
Couldn't open
6
the door.
inches off the
That's
ground.
exactly right.
Yep.
Sometimes having an attachment, you literally had to take the attachment off. Deere's never had that issue, but there have been brands you had to drop the attachment to literally open the door. So
Yeah.
that's one of the nice things with this redesign of the cab. It's given you additional space. We were always able to kind of get some, but now we've got a good amount of distance between the cab door, so you can have the attachment up, whether it's an attachment like this, still get in and out. You're not stuck in the cab.
Yeah, I didn't even really notice that standing in front of the machine, but when you look at the side, it all makes sense. Boy, there is a lot going on in here. So what are we looking at here?
So you got the whole new redesigned cab here with John Deere. We have John Deere monitor up on this side, backup camera over here, and we got the TopCon MC Mobile 3D display right here in front of us over here. So as you can see, we got our skid loader with a grader blade in there. We have a surface where it's just a straight box rectangle. You can see where our blade's at. Right here we have a line called a polyline in there for alignment. Say it's like a curve or something of that sort. We're able to see exactly where we're at with it. We can change the view of this to start getting bird's eye view or cross-section view. So this is just showing our blade where our surface is. You can toggle between a couple different menu items, but we're just going to go from there. This will allow you to change the grade reference point of the blade. So if you want to read from the left side, middle, or right side, depending on where you're hugging on that grade profile, you can choose that. You can also shoot what's called a topo shot. You can take a recording of the northing easting elevation of where that blade is at based off that reference point. You can create some line work in there. You have auto side shift, which is this one right here, allowing you to automatically side shift the mow board to follow that polyline. So you're driving that skid loader, and if you're not perfectly straight, it'll automatically correct your grader blade for you. And then you can also reverse that and flip your orientation as well. This tab down here shows your elevation, where you're at, based off of where the design surface is, and this one shows you what your slope is, your cross slope.
So right here, it's basically 7/10 low?
Yes, yes. Actually, you're 700s, not 10s.
700s, sorry. Yeah, 700s, right, okay.
Now you're a 10th. So you know how we talked about that?
And this is your angle here.
Yeah, that's your angle for your slope, for your cross slope. So we're able to go ahead and run the automatics on this based off of running the hydraulic controls here to set it in continuous mode flow. And then right here is our grader joystick to operate the grader for up, down, left, right, side shift, circle, rotate, and your automatics. You also have some increment decrements there to raise and lower your surface depending on what you want to do.
Right. Cab's very comfortable.
Yes.
How about I film you cut some grade with this?
Perfect. So as I'm cutting right here, you can see the blade auto side shift to the left and right based on the orientation of my skid loader.
All right, so a question I have, that's pretty slick, but say you're building a big barn or, you know, a big pole building or something, and you know where you want grade. You know, you don't need like an engineered file to upload into this, do you? Can you pick what grade you want? Yes, you can pick what grade you want. The beauty of it is you can use a fully engineered file, or you can do what's called an as-built and build it yourself based off of a benchmark elevation you want to follow. Okay, so you can just pick the grade and go off of that. Absolutely. That is some machine. That really is. That's what we did here today. Yeah, right. You just picked what you wanted, and there it is. Yes, sir. Cab's very comfortable in this. I was pleasantly surprised, and I noticed the cab is all one piece. One piece, fully sealed. So it's pressurized. Yep. And a lot less vibration. Yeah, it's very quiet too, if you notice. Yeah. So what system is on the excavator here? So this is Topcon's MC Mobile 3D Indicate Grade Guidance system. Okay. And what all is this capable of? So this is capable of following the same surface profile as we've seen with our grader blade, just with an excavator. So you can dig, you can do pipe work, you can do ditches, you can dig foundations, all the alike. And if you want a certain percentage of fall on your pipe, you can program all that into it to do that? Yeah, you shoot point from A point to B, snap what's called a polyline in there, and define what slope you want added in there. Right. And what machine is this? This is a 50. Yeah, this is a... What's this, around 11,000 pounds? Yep. Okay. So if you see out here, we have
grade reference sensors on the dog bone.
Where are they at?
And boom. So we have them underneath this cover to protect it, but they're right behind this.
Okay.
You got dog bone, stick, boom, and we also have one on our body. And MC Mobile supports swing boom. So you have your accuracy as you go from left to right as you swing that boom. So there's also one on the swing boom.
So no matter how the bucket is configured, if it's the teeth are straight down or back like this, it's not going to let it go below that grade.
So, and it's all based off the operator, so it's indicate, it's guidance only. We have the auto system, this one being indicate, it will allow you, but it's going to show the operator where your teeth are at.
And it's going to show you right on screen where your grade is and where you want to be.
It'll give you a visual and an audible guidance alarm.
Which is probably where you want to do it anyways. I'm just picking, you're pulling out a big rock, you know what I mean, things like that, but you always can see exactly what grade is on the screen.
And this one is running what's called LPS, so there's a prism on the backside of that cab rather than a GPS receiver. So it's all line of sight, so we have a total station behind us oriented where it's fixated on that prism and following this machine around as you go.
Okay. Now this machine here, he's using a laser on that one, right?
Yep, that one's 2D.
GPS there, laser on that one.
We have our rotary laser back there giving us our grade and our beam.
Gotcha.
Hitting those 360 receivers.
Right. Really cool stuff. So the other thing, besides the grade control and everything, this would really assist in layout.
Yes.
And how does it do that?
So it benefits in layout because we know that's the most time-consuming part of the project to get going, to make sure everything's right, everything's square. So it allows the user to, instead of calling in a surveyor to go out there and engineer and survey that job out for you, you can go do that yourself, using reference points like a property line. You want to move a building 5 or 10 feet off of that property line. You can go out there and stake this out yourself. It saves you all the time of pulling tapes, paint markers, stakes that might get pulled out and ripped out and broken.
Or if you're building a new building, you want the road to be perfectly parallel to that building, but 50 feet away from it, or anything like that. You could just shoot your points, and you'll have all that right in the machine, and you can build around that.
Absolutely.
That is pretty slick. So a couple things that really stand out. Camera is awesome. I don't even use it in mine. You can't see it. It's not the 270 view. Camera would be very, very handy.
Yes.
I didn't know if that was just one of those things. You know what I mean? It's handy. It is.
The quality has a huge amount to do with it, and size of the screen as well.
Big screen.
It doesn't hurt.
But now this machine has a little different suspension. This has the upgraded suspension.
Yeah, it has that anti-vibe suspension that John Deere brought out. So it's great, especially when you're an owner-operator. It's going to smooth out that ride, less impact to your machine itself if you're running in a lot of rough areas as far as that goes. Allows you to not spill as much out of your bucket. And when used in conjunction with ride control, I mean, very, very smooth ride is what you're going to feel. So
it's really nice.
Without a doubt.
It's this whole nother level of stuff here, though.
Whole nother level of machine. We've got the attachment manager where you can put both. Deere attachments are preloaded. You can put any brand. I know obviously you run a lot of Virnig attachments. You can put settings in there if there's certain amounts of flow that you want for each attachment. So you're not overflowing an attachment, or performance is different. So you can add all those. Select that when you're going in there, so you're dialed right in from the beginning once you hook it up. So lots of good features.
Very nice. This has a very, very quiet cab. So check this thing out. I didn't even know Deere made one of these. Maybe it's new. Kind of like a wheel loader telehandler. Telelift. Well, that's really nice. Boy, is that nice. This would be a big hit in the oil field on well pads with that telehandler.
Absolutely. Big in the ag market. This will.
Demo that one more time.
Yeah, absolutely. The big in the ag market where you need to get over the side of these large mixer wagons and trucks. Place large round or square bales deeper, higher as far as that goes in a lot of these. So essentially what you can do is you can take a smaller machine and get substantially more lift height out of it than you can a standard wheel loader or skid loader, or without having to move up into a much larger wheel loader.
It's nice.
It's also got a rating on here so you don't overload it. So as you are lifting weight and extending it, it basically is going to show you how how it shows on this graph as you're entering the red zone. What it's meant to do is to allow you to make sure you don't enter into that danger zone of where you could flip something over, become unsafe or unstable as far as that goes. So the machine's actually going to tell you that as you're operating, so you don't have to guess, which is kind of cool. So
now they just make one size like this?
They do. This is actually brand new. Just came out.
Yeah, I'd never seen one of these before.
It's got an ISO coupler, so you can put buckets, forks, attachments on the front of it as far as that goes. Basically built on the same chassis as our 324P compact wheel loader as well. Another nice feature, if you kind of look, is not only does it articulate, but the rear tires.
Oh yeah, rear steer too.
Yeah, exactly. So it just allows for a lot better maneuverability, a lot tighter turning radius as far as that goes. So inside of a barn, on a job site, tight job sites, you can really get in and around, actually better than in a lot of cases a skid steer, which is kind of nice.
Right. So we're looking at a line of wheel loaders here 184, 244, 304, 324. And although this 344 looks like a pretty big machine, these are all in Deere's compact line.
That's right. They're all considered a compact wheel loader. So basically, for smaller work, obviously Deere makes and is known for great wheel loaders. The normal ones that most people are aware of, 444 up to our 944, which is great in the aggregate business and quarries. But here we can see the difference between, we've got our G tier, we talked about tiering earlier, G tier versus a P tier loader, and basically what that shows you, and if you looked at those loaders, there's differences in spec. So a G tier is going to be a little lower spec. It doesn't have the rear wheel steer like the P tiers do. Because there's an obvious cost to that. They sit a little bit lower. We can get our 184, our 204, which we don't have, and the 304 in a canopy model as well. So you can get that open station. Garden centers are great there.
Yeah, like what would a typical customer be for, say, a 304?
So 304, it could be landscaping, it could be construction,
supply yards, landscape yards,
absolutely, anything like that. And then it kind of comes down to features of, do you want a nicer cab? Typically, you're going to see 244s, 324s, 344s are probably going to be more contractors where they just need a loader. Street jobs. We have a lot of contractors that run 344s on small job sites, or street jobs where maybe you can't get large machines in and around because you have traffic, you have limitations with lanes, shut down and so on. So it really depends. We've got a loader that'll fit anything that you need it to do. So from one size to the other. And like we said, the P tier is just going to be a little higher spec, more bells and whistles. You sit higher, just some differences, but there's a seat for everybody for sure.
Right.
So. Let me talk to you. Right. I'm going to. I'll walk over and ask him. I'll measure
So this is Adam with
Yes.
Virnig, and as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Virnig stuff. I've got 4 attachments for my mini skid, and I bought a 84-inch grapple for my big skid loader. But you guys are based out of Minnesota, correct?
Yes, we've got our main manufacturing facility is based out of Rice, Minnesota. We have a second plant that's in Pikeville, Tennessee.
Now, obviously, you're set up here with the Murphy guys. You sell a lot through Murphy Tractor, correct?
Yeah, they're one of our stronger dealers in the country. We've been partnered with them for many years.
Same with, I was at Messick's in Mount Joy a couple weeks ago. They're a big Virnig dealer as well.
Yes, they are.
But anything from compact tractors, but mini skids, CTLs, any idea how, I don't want to put you on the spot, how many different attachments you guys make? It's a lot.
It's probably 150, I don't know. It's a lot.
All different.
When you factor in all the various configurations and options that we have, it's a significant quantity. Anything from, like, you know, the Dingos, mini skid steers, compact tractors, skid loaders, and then we've gotten into the excavator range a little bit. We've got a couple attachments.
Brush cutters I saw.
The XBC 30 brush cutters have been a great product that we released a couple years ago.
How many employees does Virnig have, do you know?
I'd say we got about somewhere in that 250 range.
250 range.
Between both plants.
Yeah. And then so the plant in Minnesota, and where's the other one at?
Pikeville, Tennessee.
Okay. And that just kind of serves, do they make the same products at both, or?
No, they don't. We actually, the Pikeville is primarily focused on our V20 line, which is our mini skid attachments, some compact tractor attachments, and then the excavator and skid steer, for bulk of that, is manufactured out of Rice.
I was reading up on Virnig a while back. They've been around a long time, haven't they?
And since 1989.
1989.
Out of Dean and Lois Virnig, out of their garage.
I graduated high school in '84, so that tells you it's been a while. Yeah, they've been around a while. But yeah, you guys make great stuff. You do, and if you have any questions, I'll put a link in the description to your website. And
yeah, we if you've never been to our website, we put a lot of information. We go into in-depth detail on each attachment. We've got demo videos so you can see the stuff operating.
Yeah.
You know, we try to put enough out there where people can make an informed decision on what they're buying, because we do build a high quality. Yeah, it's a premium attachment.
It is. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
It's a premium attachment. And the thing, what's amazing is how much the whole industry, though, people are going smaller machines, but your attachments make them so much more capable. You know what I mean? Like, you can do so much with a CTL now that you wouldn't have dreamed of 15 years ago, but you can.
Well, it's really useless without a good selection of attachments to take on the jobs. And you're even seeing that with the mini skid and dingo market. You know, they're starting to run a wider range, larger attachments.
I still have the paint on the teeth of my bucket for my mini skid because I don't use it for, I use it for all the attachments. You know what I mean? The rotating log grapple, the brush cutter. I call that machine my everyday carry. I just put it on a trailer when I'm going somewhere because I'm going to have something to do with it when I get to the other end. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know?
All of our attachments are engineered by Virnig. They're built by Virnig.
In-house engineers.
In-house engineers. And then we've got, you know, we're using domestic steel. All of our components are sourced in North America. So, you know, we try to put out a good quality American-made attachment.
Made in Minnesota.
Made in Minnesota and Tennessee.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Adam. But anyway, that was my experience from the customer event I was at the other day. I appreciate y'all being here, and I will catch you on the next one.